Guys, girls, and anyone anywhere in between. I'm the Local Gamer. We're here to talk to you today about the For Honor 2.29 patch notes that came out on July 22nd, which was this last Thursday. Let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be going over KYOSHIN, the new hero. So the new hero KYOSHIN just came out. They have it set for a difficulty of hard. He's a counterattack fighting style and he's a group fighting specialist. I'm interested to see how well he actually does in group fights. I haven't seen too many of those yet on YouTube. I've only seen a couple of his duels. So let's go into his stance. The Kaze stance is like Conqueror's and Black Prior's All Guard. He's not able to get hit from any side. Unblockables will still go through, and whenever he blocks one of the attacks, whether it's a light or heavy, from his enemy, instead of just blocking it, it allows you to go into a counter attack and get multiple hits in on the enemy from that one counter. He's also able to attack straight from the Kaze stance, unlike Conqueror in his All Guard. He also has unblockable and undodgeable mix-up. He has a couple bashes in there, allowing him to take full advantage of the enemy players and keep his combo going until the enemy is allowed to throw another attack, and then he'll just go right back into his Kaze stance and get that combo going all over again. So we're going to talk about some improvements with the user interface real quick. They have a new title icon. It looks pretty fresh, it looks clean. It's hard to, so we're going to talk about some improvements of the user interface. They added a new title icon. They changed it. They made it look more clean and a little bit better. But what I really wanted to talk to you all about today was what your opinion is on the gender tab. They changed it from the gender tab to the body type. So instead of having male and female on there, it is now body type 1 and body type 2. I personally think it's kind of cool. It sees how Ubisoft is trying to change and make his games more appealable to the players. Give me your feedbacks in the comments. Let me know. Alright, so we're going to start talking about bug fixes now. The first one we're going to do is Warden. We got 2 of them for him. So whenever he ends up throwing the out of stamina heavy, the animation that comes out is actually the out of stamina heavy finisher animation. So they fixed that to where it's just a regular out of stamina heavy animation now. He also has an issue with his Blackstone Bash execution. Whenever he ends up doing it, the opponent's body ends up being halfway outside of the map almost every time. So they changed that. Hopefully that actually fixed the issue with that, and whenever you do get that smooth, juicy execution, they're going to be just on the inside of the map, hopefully. Next up, we're going to be moving on to Kensei's issue. So whenever he ends up blocking a heavy light combo in succession, as long as the heavy and light are performed from different sides, Kensei's block animation stays over onto that original side that he blocked the heavy with. It doesn't end up switching over to the other side for that block animation. I fixed that, and that's all we got on Kensei. On the Bushi, this heavy finisher, it snaps into place instead of like a smooth transition. So the finisher ends up snapping from the light, and having the Bushi instead come back to her stance and go into the heavy ends up just snapping halfway through the heavy animation. So it messes up the opponent's chance to do anything, and also it's not a very nice animation to look at when you're playing the Bushi. Now we got Jang Jun. So whenever Jang Jun is throwing 2 top lights in a row, for whatever reason, if you end up delaying that second top light, and in the patch it says for more than or approximately 900 milliseconds, it causes the camera to jump from where JJ's originally positioned to halfway through his second top light. They ended up fixing that, and now the transition is buttery smooth, no issues there. Hitakiri has a simple little fix that they worked on. Whenever Hitakiri would do their side dodge heavy, on either side it didn't matter. The wrong animation would play. So if you went to do the side dodge heavy to the left side, the attack would come from the right side for the animation. Although the part where you blocked would still be on your right side, the animation would come from the opposite side. So when Jormungandr ends up doing a heavy feint into a dodge. It causes Jormungandr to end up look like they're sliding all over the map. So essentially, if you just did heavy feint until you ran out of stamina, you could do slides all around your opponent, and it doesn't look good. So they fixed that animation, made it a little bit better. Jean Hugh, they fixed an animation that caused it to where his right heavy after a right-sided parry would have the wrong animation, so they ended up fixing that. It makes it look good again. They ended up having to fix one of the feats. It's the arrow strike feat. That's a singular arrow barrage that comes down, not the one with the 3, and it caused that to, if you're in that circle of damage, it ends up to where you don't receive any damage at all. And I personally like being able to deal out damage with the feat if I use it. Otherwise, it's just a wasted feat. So we're on the maps now, and the first one is going to be Citadel Gate. They fixed an issue that allowed the players to bypass the collisions guarding the edge of the map in order to get out of the map at capture point C. High Fort. They fixed an issue that allowed a player to bypass collisions after being bumped at multiple locations on the map. And then Quang Pass has 2 of them. The first one is the player would die when either shield bash or guard broke on the corner of the inner and the outer gates in the map. So Quang Pass, they fixed an issue where the player can get killed if their shield bash in the corner between the inner and the outer gates. And the second issue for Quang Pass was they caused the opponent, if you were to be killed, if bumped or guard broken in near the gate in the phase 1. We're on the user interfaces now, and there are only 2 of them, which I could see as potentially being an issue beyond just how it affects your visual gameplay. So the first one is they fixed an issue that caused the visual clips to be displayed on the hero's right side. So essentially there would be 4 or 5 horizontal transparent lines at the bottom right corner of where your hero was, and it would only happen whenever you were locked on. So that's not going to be there anymore. So the second one is one that I can see being a gameplay issue more than just a visual issue. They fixed an issue that blocked the faction change at the beginning of a new season. So say you were Samurai and you wanted to come over to Vikings, because Vikings are the best. It makes it so you can't, and you won't be able to get any of those bonuses at the end of the season or mid-season whenever they do their tally up of who won what event. Number 3 is going to be they fixed the issue. I don't see why this is a big deal. Whenever you change your field of view to about 90, it shows the floating banners in the background of the title screen or the main screen. And I don't see why that's too much of an issue. I thought it looked pretty cool from the pictures, and it seemed like something that was more positive than it would be negative, you know. That way you're not just zoomed in on the chest plate of the character, you can actually see the surroundings in the background, and it'd be more visual and appealing to the eye. Number 4, they fixed an issue that caused the respawn timers for both teams whenever one team was breaking to disappear. So the team that was winning would still be able to respawn, but there'd be no timer. So there's no 15 seconds. They just have to respawn whenever it allows them to, and they can't work with their teammates and let them know when they're coming to respawn and when they're going to be able to come get to them and help. So that's one of the ones that was a little bit of a gameplay issue more than just a visual issue. Alright, we're going to get into customization now. The first one is going to be they fixed an issue that caused Tiande, Shaolin, Naksha, and JJ to be missing the Gambler's Fallacy outfit. And that was only on Xbox from what it said in the patch notes. We didn't have to worry about that on PC or PlayStation. Next up, they fixed the issue where Warden's Megara chest piece did not have any physics simulation. So essentially whenever the Warden took damage, the chest piece would not show any cuts, indentations, or slashes on that chest piece, and they fixed that. This one's kind of funny. They fixed an issue that caused the Jormungandr's Eclipse event weapon to be backwards, and that is on all heroes. All the event weapons that are customizable per each hero would be equipped backwards onto it. So the clip I saw was Gladiator's sword was flipped. The blade of the sword was flipped upward instead of downward. It's just a cosmetic issue, and they fixed that. The next one that we're going to talk about is Hitokiri. A couple of her executions have been louder than expected. So if you look at her base executions compared to the Sakura execution or the butterfly beheading, the butterfly beheading and the Sakura execution are going to be louder than her base executions. They fixed this issue, so everything should be on common audio ground. It won't kill your ears. The next one's going to be, they fixed an issue that caused the weapon to be offset of the berserker while performing the severe amputation execution in the game. So what that means essentially is just that whenever the berserker was performing that execution, their weapon would be off-centered and not actually be doing the right animation for that execution. The person that reported this stated that he only attempted 20 times, and only one of those 20 the animation was actually proper and was where it needed to be. So we're going to talk about Shinobi for a second. The Shinobi's hooked on the killing execution has lasting longer than what people are wanting, due to the fact that whenever Shinobi finishes the execution, Shinobi goes into 2 separate neutral stances prior to actually allowing you to return to gameplay. They fixed that. Now Shinobi only does the standard 1 neutral stance and allows you to go right back into gameplay. Now we're going to be talking about Orochi's issue, which with the Seijiro's finesse execution, it makes the camera have the wrong angle and right after the execution. So your execution is going to have the proper angle, but whenever Orochi comes out of that execution, the camera's going to be flipped. This one's a cosmetic issue with the Raider's Sternum chest piece to not apply the color palette onto his chest. So you could have the embroidery, the customization with the artwork on the chest piece, but you couldn't have the color palette applied to it, so you couldn't change the colors at all. They changed it. You can now put on whatever color you want onto the Raiders chest piece. Alright guys, and that is going to be the end of the video. If you enjoyed and you stayed till the end, make sure to like, subscribe, and do me a favor and comment in the video and let me know what I can do better in the videos to make it more appealing.